Alright guys, what is up? Welcome to a new video. So this is going to be more like unfiltered and more like a rant video. So this is going to be a longer video. So sit back, relax and enjoy. And there's 3 parts to this video. So if you guys want to skip ahead or whatever, there's going to be timestamps in the bar thing. So you guys can skip through if you guys want the solutions or you don't care about my story. So I'll leave the timestamps, but the first part of the video is going to be my story, how I used to FAP and all that, and I used to do it how many times a day and stuff like that. So if you guys are not interested, you guys can skip ahead. And the second part is going to be my experience on no FAP, like throughout these 1.5 years of no FAP. And the third part of the video is going to be solutions to no FAP, like how to not FAP anymore. And I'm not gonna leave you guys in the dust, so I do provide solutions because I don't just talk to the camera and not give you guys any solutions to talk about myself. So I do give solutions. So if you guys want to stick till the end and keep watching this video, I'm gonna give you guys some solutions. So yeah, without a further ado, let's get on with the video. So my story when I first started fapping. So I think you guys can relate to a lot of what I say because nowadays, like, porn and all that shit is socially acceptable now. Because when I first started like fapping and stuff, I was at the age of 13 and then at the age of 21 I really stopped fapping. Like I haven't fapped anymore till this day. I'm age 23, so it's been like 1.5 years, and it's about to be 2 years summertime, I think. Yeah. So my story is I started discovering fapping at age 13, and the way it happened is I saw like a magazine, like, you know how back in the day, if you guys are my age, you know, back in the day there was like DVDs and they would have like the cover. So I saw that and I took the DVD and I played it in my TV, and I saw like fucking, you know, them having sex and all that stuff, and I discovered that. And then I saw the guy, like, you know, doing it with his hand. I'm like, let me try that, you know. And I try. This is gonna be really like unfiltered and shit. So if you guys want to skip ahead, you guys can go skip ahead. Like if you guys don't want to hear my story, but yeah, and I'm gonna get like really into detail, the nitty gritty of it. So because I want you to get the full picture, how I used to do it every day, multiple times a day, and I overcame the addiction. If you guys are having this addiction, you guys can overcome it too. It's just all in the mindset. But if you guys are wanna skip ahead, go ahead. I don't care. But if you guys are some real ones, you guys are gonna stick through, watch the whole video or listen to the whole video. But yeah, I discovered it, and then like you know when you first start fapping, you do like softcore porn, like just like maybe I started with lesbian, and then after that I went into like, you know, regular, and then your dopamine is like so fried up that you're seeking it like harder and harder core, like some weird shit, you know. And I used to do like compilations. There's like compilations of like girls, like it's like a 10-minute video, and like every like 5 seconds, 10 seconds there's different girls. So it fucks up your dopamine so much, like you have no idea. After like coming off it, it's like way better, my dopamines. But yeah, after the years progressed, I would go into more like hardcore weird shit porn, and because my dopamine wasn't having enough high from like the regular ones. And I was doing this from the age of 13 till 21, and believe it or not, at 16 I'm like, this is really bad for me, like I gotta stop because this is like not normal. And at 16, I was playing soccer at varsity. Yeah, I was playing varsity soccer in high school, and I stopped for a month, and it was the best thing that happened to me that month because physically, mentally, I was more clear. I played the best season in my life that time of month during soccer. Like I was getting more playing time. I was starting some games as a sophomore playing varsity soccer, and I had like the best season because of no FAP, because I had more energy, had more mental willpower and stuff like that, and my dopamines weren't fucked up, and I had more focus. And after that I relapsed. And you know, when you relapse, when I relapse, I would like go on like 1 or 2 week streaks, and then when I would relapse, I would do like 4 or 5 times in that day because everything is like filled up and shit like that. And I would do that about 4 or 5 times a day. Then after that, like I would try to stop like every year or so, but I couldn't because I would like it was like socially acceptable, because back in the day, if you wanted to go watch porn or anything like that, um, they would have to go like in a XXX shop and go get the magazines or the DVD player or whatever, and people thought you were weird. You had to go in like sneakily. People wore like hoodies and shit, back in the day, and they had like a stash under their bed. Nobody, it wasn't like socially acceptable. But now you can just go on any device, go on Safari and just search it up. It's so available, and as a man, you really want to avoid this because it like basically castrates you. You know how animals get castrated, like an ox, it gets castrated, then it's like really strong, willing to work, high testosterone. He wants to go kill it in the farms and shit. But when you castrate that animal, it becomes submissive. It becomes like a pussy, basically. It becomes more feminine, and that's what you're doing to yourself. And once you do it, once you release all of it, you feel like going to sleep. You feel like shit. You feel lethargic. You have that post-nut clarity, like what the fuck am I doing in my life? What is this? And that's how I felt from the ages of 13 to like 21, and I'm like, enough is enough, And at 21, I still haven't fapped, and I'll get into solutions like how I stopped fapping and all that, and what really helped me out, and it's gonna help you guys out too. So my experience with this no fap thing is there's a lot. You know how people on YouTube, they say my experience on no fap, like God mode, I'll be able to like levitate, and like girls hold eye contact with me, girls like me more, and that shit. I think that shit is all BS because it's like a placebo effect. You look out for those stuff, but whenever you're looking out for stuff, like it happens more. For example, if you're looking, like when I was trying to buy my 350Z, I'm like, I'm gonna get this car one day. I was working towards it, and I would see 350Zs everywhere because I was looking out for it. And I'm like, wow, there's so many 350Zs out here, Nissan 350Zs, and I didn't know, but I was looking out for it. The same thing goes with all that fapping shit. Like, people are like, the girls can smell the retention on you and shit like that, bro. That shit is BS. I don't believe in that shit. Like, yeah, I don't believe in it. But my experience is like, you get a dopamine reset. You find the little things more enjoyable, and it doesn't fry up your brain. You have more attention span because if you think about it, back in the day, like Roman times, Ottoman Empire, Persian Empire, all that stuff, the Vikings, they couldn't even see that many women that we can in just seconds. Like you can there's categories, Latina, Asian, white, anything. You could just see hundreds of naked women in just a click of a button. But back then, kings didn't even have that privilege. They couldn't even do that, and they were on top of the tree. They were the most powerful people in their empire, and they still couldn't get that many or see that many women. And if you see that at the age of 13, now young men, they see now that young men see nowadays from just click of a button. Imagine how fucked up it fucks up your mind and your dopamine, and your brain is not even fully developed. That's why these kids are like, and I was in that too. Like I couldn't even go talk to girls normally because I always saw them as a sexual object, and it sets unrealistic expectations and standards when you go talk to real life girls or go meet girls in real life, because all that shit is just like scenes. That shit never happens when you're actually having sex. All the fake titties and fake ass and fake lips, everything like that. Like you think that shit is real, and whenever you go talk to a normal girl, you won't even get turned on. Your dick probably won't work. But I never had that problem, thankfully, because I never had that problem where my dick doesn't work. It's always like I'm not gonna get into that shit, but yeah. it sets unrealistic standards. So like no, like when you're on no FAP, and I haven't had sex in about 2 months. Yeah, it's been 2 months, because I promised myself, I'm like, I'm not gonna chase any girls. I'm not gonna do any of that shit until I get my own apartment and a good paying job. And I'm still working on that. So yeah. And whenever I go talk to like normal average girls, I find them really attractive, because I haven't, like, had sex or anything like that in 2 months. The only time I have sex, yeah, is only with girls. So I haven't fapped in 1.5 years. And my experience is, whenever I talk to girls or something, even average girls, they look really attractive. And it's not like you don't have like high standards, maybe you can say, but like you're really fucking horny if you don't go to the gym. Like you have more energy for the gym, your testosterone is high. I have more energy, like I want to go out there and kill it in life. And if I don't do the work that I need to do, I feel like shit. So every morning, like when I wake up, I'm like, oh, I gotta get to the grind. uh yeah. And it also, whenever you're fapping too, you trick your biological self, that you're telling yourself that I achieved, like, as a man, biologically, we want to spread our seed, we want to nut as much as we can and spread our seed. And you trick your mind into thinking that you've done what our purpose is, basically, to spread our seed and nut. And when you fap and do that, you're tricking your mind, telling your mind that, hey, look, like I got these girls. But in reality, you didn't get these girls, it's just through a phone. And and when you don't fap, after like a week or so, your mind tells you like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm not getting any girls. And your energy raises more, you want to go kill it more in life, because that's what drives us. When we don't have women in our lives, or when we can't bust a nut, your mind subconsciously tells yourself like, hey, this is gonna go in panic mode, like I'm becoming a loser, I need to get more muscles, have more energy so I can go mate. Basically, that's what your mind is telling you. And that's what I experienced so far. So like I haven't experienced like, oh, like girls will come and approach you and like they can smell the retention on you. Like I had girls approach me like maybe twice. Yeah, just twice. 3 times actually in this whole thing. But yeah, like that shit is just BS. Don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in it. And yeah, that's my experience in like these 1.5 years. Like I have more. Even I measured my testosterone too. I have 638 nanograms per deciliter, and I want to get to 1,000 in like 6 or 7 months. Because right now I'm bulking up, so I'm like at 15% body fat. Once I get to 11 and 12% body fat, my testosterone is gonna go higher, and I'm gonna take other supplements, test that out. But yeah, my goal is to hit 1,000 nanograms per deciliter in the testosterone range. And yeah, so I'm gonna get into the solutions. So if you guys have watched this far and you guys want solutions, you got some real ones, you haven't just clicked off and like those other guys. And so the number one, this is not into typical order, it's not like importance level order, so I'm just gonna give you guys tips on how I haven't fapped in 1.5 years. And I don't think I'm ever gonna fap again in my life, honestly. But yeah, you have to have that mindset switch and be like, you know what, I'm this person that doesn't fap anymore. Like I'm not that person. You just gotta have that mindset switch. Be like, yep, I don't fap anymore. Like that's loser behavior. I don't do that. Once you have that mindset switch, then then you're able to be more successful in your no fap journey. And this one really helped me out is that I'm not like, the only way I'm gonna bust the nut basically is getting it from real life. So this is gonna get you like more girls basically, because this is gonna be like, if I want to have sex, I have to go talk to girls in real life. I'm not just gonna fap and bust it all over myself. I'm gonna bust it on a girl, you know. And this is going to help you way more with your no fap, because you want to get it in real life instead of just doing it with your hand. And man, I don't want to get into that, but yeah, you got to make a promise yourself. Be like, I'm not gonna fap. The only time I'm gonna get it is from other girls, and this is going to make you get more girls. You're gonna start cold approaching. You're gonna start being more social with girls. You're gonna want to fuck the shit out of them, because that's how I am. And also another one is, bro, like, you gotta have this other mindset switch. Is whenever you're watching it, right? Like, deep down, you want to be that guy that is pounding her. Like, you're watching that girl get pounded by another guy, and you're like, if you think about it, you're watching another guy pound the girl that you want to actually pound, and the guy is doing it, and you're like beating to it, bro. Like, if you think about it, that's really like fucked up. And like, imagine yourself in like a third person view. Like, imagine yourself in bed, and like there's a camera zooming out, and you're just beating it, and mouth being like and then just watching it and spreading that shit all over yourself, bro. Like, you should think yourself as a loser every time you do it, because that's what I do. I'm like, if I do this shit, I'm gonna be a loser. Like, I can't get girls in real life, so I have to go into my phone and like fap from there. Like, that's loser behavior, and you want to have that mindset switch. So, and also, like, imagine like your ancestors, all of them, they went through killing like saber-tooth tigers and getting food for their tribe and shit, and you can't even get a girl in real life, so you go and fap. Like, come on, bro. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But yeah, it also, another thing is, guys say, oh, you relapse, all your progress is gone. No, that's BS. Like, I'm gonna give you an analogy. So imagine a fat guy going to the gym for a month straight, and then he doesn't go one day. You think all that progress is lost before? No, that's not the case. So think of that the same way when you're fapping. If you relapse, all that progress, you won't, like, imagine like in a month you fap like 4 times a week, and then you reduce it to 3 times a week, and then 2, and then 1. That's progress. So if you relapse, that's fine. Just remember that you're making progress. Progress is key, and it's okay if you relapse. Alright guys, as I was editing this video, I left out some key solutions. So the other key solution is, this is what really helped me out, and it's going to be personal for you. You got to see what triggers you to fap, because for me, what triggered me is, what I noticed is, when I was on Instagram or Facebook, I would see like a hot model or a hot chick, and that would trigger me. I'm like, damn, she's fucking sexy. I gotta beat to this. And I would spend like 30 to 40 minutes trying to find a girl that looks just like her or similar to her, so I can go fap to that. And that's what I noticed. That's what triggered me to fap 90% of the time. And the other 10% is, make sure that you have things to do, because when you're bored, when you don't have anything to do, you're just gonna go on fucking the hub and go watch it. Because when I was bored, when I was younger, like, sometimes I would just go on in fucking hub and watch how bad the acting was. Like, I'm sure some of you guys did this. Like, I'll go watch acting, and then somewhat like later on to the video, then I would fap, or I would just go look at the comments or something. And that, because I didn't have a purpose, when a man doesn't have a purpose, he drowns himself in pleasure. So make sure you have shit to do throughout the day. Make sure, like, you're working hard throughout the day, so when you come home, you just go in bed and just sleep. And that's the best thing you can do, because when I have a lot of times when I had a lot of time in my hands, that's what I would do. I'll just go on the hub and just watch it, And another thing is, make sure when you're doing your work or something, go to like a public library, go to your local Starbucks, and just go work on your assignments or whatever you're working on. Go work on it there, because you won't just be like, oh, let me just FAP, but you're in a public area, so you won't do it. But if you're at home, you can do it. It's more private, so that's gonna prevent you from doing it in another way. So yeah, but those two things really helped me out, was to see what triggered me. It's more personal for me. That was the trigger for me, and see what the trigger is for you. If it's Facebook or Instagram, just unfollow all those Instagrams. You shouldn't be following Instagram models in the beginning. Like, what benefit do they have for you? Like, the more you look at it, the more you won't be able to get that kind of girl, because you're wasting your time just looking at it. So just unfollow all those girls, all those models, or you can delete the app or whatever, and have a lot of don't have a lot of time in your hands. Make sure you're working out throughout the day, so you're tired and you can just go to sleep. So I forgot to include those in the video as well. I was editing the video. So yeah, so that's pretty much the video. If you guys like the video, subscribe, comment below what you guys think. How are you guys doing in NoFap and self-improvement like that? And yeah, that's pretty much the video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.